I'd like you to explain again to our listeners about how you got involved with, and I need to get this correct, so I'm going to go to my card, the Cornwall Stadium, the new stadium.
Or Stadium for Cornwall.
Stadium for Cornwall.
It's a small point.
And that's the branding.
It's the branding, Stadium for Cornwall. .co.uk. Thank you very much.
Wonderful.
Go onto my LinkedIn.
Fantastic.
You'll find it.
Fantastic. And what is that? Where's that come from? How long's it been in the making? All of those questions.
So my day job, love of the game is my love of the game is one of my charitable ventures, and my day job is I am chief of staff to a man called Dickie Evans, and he owns the Cornish Pirates Rugby Club and Truro City Football Club. And for a very long time, indeed 12 years, we have wanted to build a stadium for the Pirates initially, and now for the football club. Cornwall,
ground share.
Ground share. I mean, it's actually legally one business.
Okay.
But it would be sharing rugby and football on the same ground.
Excellent.
So Cornwall is this just stunning county. Anybody who's visited, absolutely stunning county. But it's also more than a tourist county. You've got 565,000 people who live in Cornwall, and they are absolutely passionate about their cultural heritage, their cultural icons, and their sporting heroes. And Cornish Pirates are just one of the biggest sports brands in the country, and I would say the biggest brand in Cornwall.
Okay.
Truro City Football Club are a non-league, but my boss bought Cornish Pirates 20 years ago, and I'll talk about him another time.
Okay.
Because, what sort of business model is it buying a rugby club? But as a businessman, an entrepreneur, he said, we have to build a stadium that allows a greater audience. So A, there are people across Cornwall who want to come and watch Pirates. And B, Pirates' economic future is protected by having a greater audience.
Of course. And
a stadium is part of that. So, to do a major infrastructure project takes an awfully long time.
Yes.
And
there
were 30 sites identified by the local council, and they investigated it, and we decided on Truro. Truro is the only city in Cornwall, and it's pretty accessible to everybody. So the Stadium for Cornwall was born, and since then, like many projects, it's ups and it's downs.
It's never smooth.
Never smooth. Well, also, it required design, it required planning. The last major piece was planning permission, which was finally granted in January 2020, 2 years ago.
Okay.
And in March 2020, COVID. So
great timing.
Yeah, well, so we're coming out of it now,
sure.
And in many ways, those projects get worse or they get better, and this project has got better in those 2 years.
Oh wow!
As a proposition, but it's 2 years. That has required more investment in the club without any return, from an increased base. But the key thing that's made this project better is that we are going to put the first specialist sports concussion unit into that stadium.
Wow.
So when you build something yourself, you have the capacity to design in the things that matter.
Yes.
And we are absolutely 1,000% behind this being a community stadium. So my boss has donated this to a new community interest company. So the Stadium for Cornwall Community Interest Company will own land and stadium, and it will have a specialist sports concussion unit with all the technology that the Love of the Game concussion campaign is highlighting now. It will be there, available for the elite rugby and football players, for Cornish Pirates, Truro City Football Club, but it would also have open door to the whole of Cornwall. So if you're me, you're the rugby mum on the sideline, and your son or daughter gets Feld in a match, you're there on the sideline.
Yes,
You're like,
absolutely.
I'm not allowed to run on, but I'm,
Yeah.
And at the end
Concerned.
of the game, you are concerned.
Yeah.
You can't help
No,
yourself,
absolutely.
can you?
No.
And at the end of the game, you go, well, they seem fine. Do I go to the GP? I can't go to A&E. You can't walk into A&E with a child that's absolutely fine, but you're worried. What do you do?
Yeah.
I tell you what you do. You pop them in the car, you drive down to the stadium for Cornwall, you walk through the door, and you pay 20 quid, 50 quid to get a brain scan,
Wow.
which will take you 6 minutes. And that, I would do that day in, day out for my child, and I think that should be available for everybody.
As a sportsman, I definitely would have. I can probably say 50 times by playing football. I got hit twice in the head playing cricket, fast bowlers. I think I would definitely have, if that resource would have been there, I would definitely have gone. So this sounds groundbreaking.
It is groundbreaking. No, I'm really, really proud of it. And then what happens is that when you say you're going to do that in a stadium, then the physio at the football club and the rugby club said, that's brilliant because we have to drive concussion players 7 hours to Manchester. But could we also have a sports rehab unit? Because we have to go to Bristol for that. So we're going to have then, so you go a specialist concussion unit, but also a sports rehab unit and a gym. And all of that has, yes, it has a door to the pitch and elite players, but it has open door to amateur players, minis, juniors, seniors, veterans, men, women, across the whole of the county.
And again, for our listeners, how can they get involved? I know you've given us the website address, but is there ways that they can help? Can they fundraise? Can they get in touch with you to talk about their involvement?
Please do. I mean, Cornwall's the most amazing county, and but there are Cornish exiles everywhere. In fact, one of the reasons I feel so passionate about this stadium is that the sporting talent will be allowed to stay in Cornwall.
Okay.
We send brilliant footballers and rugby players across the country.
Sure.
You can build an international team out of, ex-Pirates players and hopefully in time Truro City Football Club players. And it would be wonderful to have, Cornish exiles come join the team. We're going to be doing big fundraising, big crowdfunding to get this stadium built. We've got a supportable bid at Westminster. So the government loves everything about this project and that it helps. It's a health centre with a pitch on the side.
Yes.
And that's helping the
Wonderful.
whole activity levels of Cornwall. And there is public money available. There's private money. My boss is putting,
Substantial.
yes, millions into
Wow.
it. But he is not. He's very wealthy, but he is not limitlessly wealthy.
Of course.
And so we do need, other supporters. So, stand up, come and talk to me, see how you'd like to be involved. Come and use the stadium because there will only be elite sport played there 1 day a week.
Right, okay.
The rest of the time, it's for the community.
Wow.
So do you want to, it should be the Wembley for Cornwall. Come and play your finals there. If you want to do a mass start for your cycling event, your running event, you've got changing rooms, you've got showers, you've got, big areas, you've got secure parking. So all of that's going to be there at the stadium. So we can be that hub for major sporting events across Cornwall.
So from the smallest child to the old veterans who...
I'd love to see, the school's women's junior football championships at the stadium.
Amazing.
I'd love to see the mixed ability or, wheelchair hockey finals at the stadium. And we are designing it to be that for everybody.